Hi, everyone. First of all, I wanted to say welcome and thank you for joining this webinar on Canva for small to medium sized business owners. I'm super excited to be here, and this webinar will probably take half an hour to give you a good foundation on Canva. So, without further ado, why don't we get started? First of all, I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Monica. I work as a graphic designer. I used to be a creative director for global agencies. And right now, I support a lot of small to medium sized businesses in visualizing their story and creating their marketing materials. I am here today because I'm very passionate about what I do and I want to empower other people to have access to the same platforms and same learning as I do with my clients. And I love doing it. So, yeah, here we go. If you want to know a little bit more about me, I worked on multiple brands, multi-million dollar brands, from car brands to pharmaceutical to real estate. There's very little I haven't done and I'm not comfortable with. And I am super excited to be here and share my knowledge. I am super passionate about empowering entrepreneurs to create strong marketing material. So, before I go into some really neat things about Canva, there are some elements that are really important to consider before you even start designing in Canva. So, as I like to call it, let's talk about the elephant in the room. No pun intended. In the advertising industry, they use the word branding a lot. So I'm very familiar with it, but I know for some other people, it might feel a little bit confusing. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about what branding is. Branding actually is sharing your story about what you do, why you are passionate, and who it's for. So it's really telling your story, and branding is creating all the elements that help you to visualize and communicate your story strongly. Um, I'm also going to talk to you about some tools, tips, and tricks. So, what I would like you to do is compare sharing your story and building your brand with the foundation of a house. Before you build a house, you always need a good plan, because if you don't have a good plan and you cut corners, eventually your house is going to start to show cracks and eventually, in the long run, fall apart. So, what you have to do before you really start designing anything is really think about, I think, fundamental elements that your customers not necessarily see. And what I mean is you have to think about what you're passionate about, who you want to serve, and why. You really have to invest and spend some time to find clarity in these things before you do other things. Because, like this illustration, is if you don't, you get out what you put in. So, garbage in, garbage out. A lot of people like to compare it with an iceberg because what is underwater is way more important and robust than what most people see above water, which is usually what we call all the visual elements. So, before you go to Canva, if you really want to be successful, it's very important to really think about these things. What we call them in advertising is becoming super clear about your W's. Who are you and who do you want to serve? What is the project, the service, or the product that you have created and why? Most of the time, people find the gap in the market or an unfulfilled need, something that wasn't working in their own life that they want to solve, and then create a product around it or a service. Where do you think this product or service would make the biggest difference? So that's usually your audience and your clients. And then when are you going to launch it? Some products could be seasonal, others are not. So I can understand it's a lot of work, but it's very important to do. And once you have that, then the question becomes, how are you going to put all of this in action so you have a strong visual identity that really sets you apart from your competition? So in the past, there were a lot of tools, and I'll talk about that in the next slides. Since I left the corporate world and I help smaller businesses, these are the three tools that really work well for me and my clients. Wix is a website platform where you can build websites that are desktop and mobile friendly. Canva, you will discover a little bit more very soon, or if you haven't already. And then Chat GPT, you will hear about it everywhere, is definitely something that can save you time and money. So instead of having multiple balls up in the air, I think as a smaller company, you can accomplish quite a bit with these three. Now, some of you might know all these platforms, and some of you might not. But not being an advertising person or a marketeer and finding your world around everything that the market has to offer can sometimes feel very overwhelming. Like you have platforms like 99 Designs that creates logos, you have iStock that gives you images or pixels. You have Upwork where you can brief anybody to do anything, MailChimp to create your campaigns. So you get an idea of all the tools that are out there that are all great. I'm not saying they're not, they're all good in their own way. But not only do they cost money, they all have their own onboarding and way of learning to use. And that's why I like Canva so much, because a lot of these things, not all of them, a lot of these things can be combined in Canva. Canva is not that old, but it changes very fast. And what I mean by that is they're constantly adding better tools within one platform that make it much easier for you to do what you need to do. So there are technically three accounts that I quickly want to talk about. I use Canva Pro, and you will see in the next slides why. There is a free account. So if you don't want to pay, you can totally get a free account. You can explore, but there are certain things you cannot do. And if you look at the tools I used to work with when I worked in the corporate world for bigger clients, these software tools that I used would cost me at least $1,000 a year. And on top of the price, they were often software programs that my clients didn't need. But the other thing is that a lot of the things that I created in that program, my clients couldn't even open. So there was a true disconnect that I think Canva really solved very, very well. I usually ask my clients to set up their Canva account and invite me in as their designer so that everything I design for them, they own. And Canva right now currently costs you between 120 to 150 US dollars per year. That's what I was paying per month for my programs. And the amount of tools you get are incredible. So here you see a couple of the tools that Canva has to offer, and there are many, many more, and they keep adding on a lot of really amazing tools. So you can build print material, you can build digital material, you can build everything you need for your social media. You can even create merchandise for yourself, book covers. It has a built-in AI tool, and what I find really, really cool is that you can collaborate. So even if you invite me, eventually over time, my goal is to empower you to take on some of the work, or we can even do it together. So I'm not going to show you everything today. I'm just going to talk about these four elements because I think when you are a beginner or even when you're already playing with Canva, you might not know about some of them. So I'm going to talk about a brand kit. I want to talk about a LinkedIn banner because a lot of business owners don't use their LinkedIn banner, which is your profile banner on the top, to their full advantage, which is a very big mistake and missed opportunity for other people to not only find you, but discover what you do. Then I'm going to talk about a carousel. So if you want to publish um, a post, but in a carousel format on LinkedIn, because it's different than on Instagram and Facebook. And then I want to talk about how you can customize or resize your templates because those are really very interesting, cool tools that are extremely beneficial and will save you a lot of time. So, what is a brand kit? A brand kit is technically all the elements that you need to create a unified look with your brand or with sharing your story. And that can be your logo, your fonts, your colors, your images, if you have iconography. So, all these things will help you to really create a pretty strong, recognizable look and feel. Like if you think about Nike, they have a certain style of imagery. Sometimes they use only the swoosh and you know right away what it is. So, these are the things that I mean. And you can set that up in Canva. So on this slide, you can see what that means for me, for my brand. And if you've been following me on LinkedIn, you can probably recognize when it's me talking or posting because I made it very simple, strong, and powerful. In the imagery being black and white, in the colors being just three colors, and you can use more, and the typography. So those are things that you would like to have clarity on before you start. And if you don't have a logo, you can either hire a designer to do it, or you can even design your logo in Canva. So if you log into your account and you go to your homepage, which has like a little house, like most websites, you will see a lot of elements. You will see a big blue banner that says, "What will you design today?" We will get into that later. Then on the left side, underneath your login account, underneath your home logo, you see Magic Studio, projects, templates, and then you see brand. It's almost like a little folder, but the word brand is beside it. Now, you also see it has a little crown beside it. And what that little crown means is that only people that have a paid account are going to be able to set up their brand. If you do not have a paid account, you will not be able to do so. So you will have to upload your logo every time and pull it in. And you will have to click on elements and change the color to your brand and then indicate that. Having a paid account just for this is worth it. So you click on your little brand logo in the left banner, and what will happen is you will have a pop up. And then, if you've never built a brand kit before, it will ask you to name your brand kit. The reason being is some people have multiple products, so you have multiple brands. And you can create multiple brands if you have a paid Canva account. So, in my case, my brand kit is called Creative Playground. So, you type in the name of your brand and then you hit create. Once you hit create, on the left side, you will see 7 or 8 subsections that I will explain later that are all part of your brand kit. But in the middle part, you will see that there is an area where you can drop and drag your logos, or it says add new. It really is a question of preference how you want to upload them. So if you have your logos on your desktop, you just drag them into this field and they will automatically be uploaded into this area under your logo section. So for me, I have my light bulb. I have it in black, I have it in blue, I have it with and without words, and I have certain sections, sorry, as individual parts because they mean something specifically. And later on, I might want to use those individual elements in some of my material. So, whatever you have, you can upload here. And then as you go, you work your way down from logo to colors. If you have your colors, then you can add those. If you do not, there is even a feature in Canva where you can look up colors that work well together depending on what your business is. You have fonts. Canva has a very, very wide and large library with a lot of fonts. But even if you don't have um, the font in Canva and you have a particular fonts that you can't find, you can upload it. Your images could be product pictures, staff pictures, any kind of picture that you use for your brand, you can upload there. Graphics and icons. So you work your way down the list to upload everything that you currently have in this brand kit document. And don't worry, you can add on things as you go. It's not like if you don't do it, you miss an opportunity and you can never go back. You can always go back. So once that's done, we can start designing. So in this case, I thought it was really interesting to talk about the LinkedIn banner, a LinkedIn carousel, quickly touch upon the features. But if you start with the sizing, if you look at the sizing within LinkedIn, there is a lot that's very overwhelming. Like it has a lot of different sizes. Now, for posts, I've circled in the presentation that the most common size for post or carousel is 1080 by 1350. That's now. That could change because we never know. But let's go to the banner. In the banner, you have two options. You have a business account and a personal account. And what's different is not only the size, not in width, but in height, but also the little area on the left that sits on top of your main banner. In your personal account, it's a circle because usually most people that have a personal account upload their profile picture. For businesses, it's square and it's mainly your logo. But you don't have to remember these sizes because if you go back to Canva and you go to your home page, remember that blue banner that I spoke to you about that says, "What will you design today?" Well, you can type in what you want to design. So, as I said before, we're going to design a LinkedIn banner. So, you type in a LinkedIn banner. If that's all you want to type in, that's great. But if you are a real estate agent, you are a fitness coach, or you are a yoga teacher, you can say LinkedIn banner real estate, LinkedIn banner yoga retreat. The reason why you can be either very basic or go deeper is that Canva has given the opportunity for designers to create designs for LinkedIn banners. And there are designs coming in every day. So this can be very overwhelming if you type in just LinkedIn banner, like you see on this page, is you have literally hundreds and hundreds of templates. And if you don't know what you're looking for, this can be overwhelming. But if you're a real estate agent, then you type in LinkedIn banner for real estate, then you get specific banners that are tailored more towards your category. And you will also see that underneath your banner where you typed in LinkedIn, there is a filter or a category. So you can explore and play with it and see what that says to help you narrow down and go deeper in what you're looking for. So I'm looking at this page. I like in the second row, the third column from the left, I like that because it's black and blue are my colors. But that being said, don't get attached to only choose designs that are close to your colors because that's the beauty that you will see in a second of setting up your brand kit. You don't have to keep that in mind. If you see something that is bright yellow and it's not your color, but you like the overall feel, that's totally fine. You can pick it and you'll see in a minute why. So when you roll over one of the designs with your cursor, sometimes there is one design and sometimes there are several within that one. Yes, it feels more complicated, even if you already have so much. Because sometimes people like to have a consistent look and feel. So designers say, why give one if we can give multiple choices within that one? So I decided this one. So when I click on it, there is another pop up that gives me 8 or more options within this one. So you can explore before you commit because you might like the one you chose or you might like the one within it more. So once you know, you see on the right side, there is a purple box that says customize this template. And beside that, there is a little star. So if you want to browse around and find some that you like more than one, you can click on that little star and it will save it for you so you can go back to it later. But if you like what you want, you click on the customize this template. And what will happen is it will open up that design within your Canva desktop, I would say. So I would give it a name right away. And the reason being is that if you ever go back to your homepage and you know what you called it, you can type it in and it's easier to find. It's not hidden in all those templates, it's on your desktop. It's just a best practice. So now that that's open, what's interesting is you will see on the left side, you will see your brand kit. At the top, it says Creative Playground. If you have more than one brand, you can toggle between all your brands at the top. But once you know which brand kit you want to use, what you can do is like you shuffle with music. If you don't like a song, you go to the next one. Here, what you can do is you can click on the shuffle under the colors. And what will happen is you will see every time you click, it will give you options within this layout. Now, those are not the only options that you have. If you like most of it, but not all of it, you keep the design and then you click within the design, and then you can go deeper and deeper. And then here you have the name Richard. You click on the name and then you go to your fonts, and it will automatically update the fonts, and you can even change the text. So that's the nice thing. So what you do then is when you're ready, in the top right corner, you have a button that says share. And it will give you an option to download, and you download it as a PNG onto your desktop, and then you can upload it into your LinkedIn. But before you do that, one thing that you have to keep in mind that's really important, and a lot of people forget this, if you go to your LinkedIn profile, you see, regardless if you have a business account or a professional account, personal, that 1/3 of the left part of that banner should not be used, or if you use it, don't use it for something important, because your picture of your headshot or your logo of your company will sit right there. So whatever is behind that will disappear. So keep in mind that the 2/3 on the right side is really where you have the opportunity to play and can do some cool things. Now, I find if you look at the most visually appealing LinkedIn banners, they're very simple. You don't have to show a picture in your banner because you already have your profile shot, but some people like it. That's a personal choice. If you want to change it often because you have an event going on or not, you can use the opportunity to really promote certain things. If not, keep a static image that's strong, that when people look at it, they know right away what you do. So that concludes the banner. Now I want to talk within LinkedIn about the carousel because there's a little bit confusion about the carousel. Reason being is it's very different than all social media channels. You can either upload a PDF or a picture. And depending on what you choose, the way it shows up on your LinkedIn is very, very different. And I will show you what the difference is at the end of this chapter. So the same applies. You go to your home, you go back into your blue banner, and then you say, I want to design a carousel. The reason why I did this differently than in the previous banner is if you do not type in the media and you just type in carousel, it will prompt you and ask you what kind of carousel do you want to design for LinkedIn, for Pinterest, or for Facebook. So, and that's totally fine. So in this case, we want to do a carousel for LinkedIn. So if you know that, you type in LinkedIn carousel or you type in real estate carousel for LinkedIn. So you see that the smarter you are and the more detailed you are in your search and telling Canva what you want, the more specific it's going to give you examples of templates. So again, you will have tons of examples. Now, because I said carousel and not post, it will give me more than one screen. And I want to do something that is from 1 to 5 or 1 to 8 or 1 to 10, but I want to have a follow up at numbers. So that's what I was looking at. This one again is close to my brand, but not on my brand. So you can preview it as before. And once you like it, you click customize this template. What it will do, it will open up and you can go into your brand kit and you can change it. And that's what I did. So I made the font instead of yellow, which is not my brand color, I made it blue. But on top of that, I wanted to make more changes. I didn't want to have my company name at the top. I decided that I didn't even want the number. I wanted to put a little icon there, and you can do that too. I will have a whole other tutorial about images and what you can do with images within Canva because it's very powerful. But anyway, you will see here that not only the color has changed, the layout has changed, right? And I have more than just 5, which was the limit of the template, but that doesn't mean that's the limit of my design. I may double that. So you just duplicate the page and change the copy. So that's really the whole idea. And because this is a square format, you can use this for LinkedIn and you can use this for Instagram, but the way you export it is different. And the export is really, again, the share at the top right corner on the banner. So when you click on that, what you want to do is you want to, for LinkedIn, you want to ideally, if you really want it to rotate like a true carousel, then you want to download it as a PDF. So if you go to share, it will automatically say download. Then it will give you the PDF prompt. You will say, yes, I want all 10 pages. And I want to have it be in RGB because RGB are the colors for screen and it's digital use. And then you download it onto your desktop and then you go to your LinkedIn, you write your posts and you upload your images. So when you upload them as a PDF, what will happen is it will show you the first screen of all your carousels. And all the other ones are hidden behind it, and you have to click with your mouse to have them rotate and go through them. If you want them to rotate automatically, you have to make it a movie and upload it as a movie so it plays automatically. But usually a carousel means that the people that see it click left or right, depending on if they want to move forward or revisit a page before. Now, as I said before, this is PDF. This is only for LinkedIn. If you upload it as an image, then you will see this. What LinkedIn will do is it will display the first 5 or more images, or if you have less, the first 2 or 3 of your post. So it will give you an overview, a breadth of everything. If that's what you want, you have to download it as an image or a PNG. So you go through the same process, but instead of PDF, you choose PNG. So that's the difference. I'm not saying anything is wrong, but that's the difference. It's personal preference. So that's everything in regards to your LinkedIn carousel. Now, I quickly want to address the features because a lot of people don't really know that this exists, and it's a very powerful part within LinkedIn that I'm going to do a separate tutorial about because it can get very deep and very lengthy. But if you scroll down underneath your banner, your bio, you get to an area that's called feature. And if you click on the plus and you want to add, you have a pop up window that says, do you want to add a post? You want to add a newsletter, an article, a link to your website or another website, or a media. The reason why LinkedIn gives you this many options is LinkedIn does not want you to leave LinkedIn and go to another area. They like to keep visitors within their own platform. And it's a good idea. And each of these features is very important for completely different reasons. So again, I will talk about that another day. Now, something that I really think is very important too, which I think is the last topic we talk about, is the resizing. So let's say if we go back to your LinkedIn post, your carousel that you created that you really love, you have a presentation coming up, or you have an event and you want to use it as a poster, or you have a client that says, I have ruined my office. Can you make a little brochure? All these things you can do within Canva. But your format that you have here doesn't really work for that purpose. So we want to resize it. So what you can do is once you have this open, you see at the top, almost underneath your little home button beside file, it has a button that says resize and magic switch. So if you click on that, there's another window that's going to open, and it's going to ask you and give you options of what do you want to resize it for? Do you have a specific size or do you have a specific purpose? And you will see below there, you can browse the categories. But if you really know what you want, in my case, a presentation, again, you just type in presentation. Now, it doesn't really matter if it's PowerPoint or Keynote or whatever, it's a presentation. Now, what does matter is there are different sizes of presentation formats. There is even a mobile first version, which is really nice. So you decide which one you need. And once you select and you know what you need, what happens is it will give you a preview first. So there is another little window that will replace the one that you had before that gives you a little thumbnail of how your square format is now resized to a landscape format and how your elements fit. Now, most of the time, these elements need to be adjusted because, as you know, you have more room on the left and the right. If it's fine the way it is, great. But if not, you can kind of noodle with it and make it work. But you can go through all your pages. In my case, there were 10 pages. So I will quickly look at them all. And then you have two options, which are very important to talk about. One is called copy and resize, which is highlighted in purple. And the other one is not highlighted, which is resize this design. The reason being is you might want to decide that you want to use this 5 or 10 tip template every month or every quarter. So then you can duplicate it. So I wouldn't throw it away, I would keep it. So then in that case, what you do is you do a copy and resize. So it will use all the elements, it will resize it in your PowerPoint format, and it will save it as a PowerPoint. So on the next slide, you will see that it's resized. Again, I would name it so it's easy to find and everything is well and organized. And then what you do is you adjust all the elements as you want. You add more copy, you add other things or not. And then you can use it either as a standalone in a PowerPoint presentation, or you can put it within a section of another PowerPoint presentation. So that is everything for today that we have covered and that we talked about. I hope it gives you a really nice idea of the possibilities with Canva and the fact that you do not have to use other platforms to get this done. If you are looking for images, you can find images within Canva. It has a very, very big library of illustration, graphics, even videos and pictures. And I am happy to do a video about that because not only can you find them, you can manipulate them. So, that being said, I really hope that you enjoyed this part of our first Canva exploration. First of all, I wanted to thank you for watching this video, and it's the first of many to come, hopefully. I also would love to know from you what are the other things that you would like to learn as an entrepreneur and business owner.